to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And anybody new? Every Saturday we try to bring you a bolo video. What is a bolo, you ask?
Be on the lookout.
You know.
Right.
You gave it away to everybody.
I didn't know a while ago, but I do know now.
So be on the lookout. These are items that we found out there that you may very well find out there. Some of them you may have to step up to the plate, like the first item I see up here on the screen. And some of them are things that you might just never have thought about listing. And hopefully you'll learn a little bit off of this, and hopefully Mr. Magazine can entertain us.
Yep, so here we go. It's Bring the Noise time now. I didn't bring it last time, but I'm bringing it now. So everyone loves Star Wars. So I bought a huge collection from a house sale. I went to the house, I picked it up. And then they sold the house, and now they found some stragglers. So they brought a truckload of stuff by, all in boxes. I didn't even look through it all, but ended up finding some of these vintage Star Wars figures from the rare Droids cartoon series. So I think it's pronounced Sicey From. Even loose, he's $500-600. Wow. So if you see this character just on a table at a garage sale, just think purple and green head, it's just $500 figure.
And anything out of the Droids series is pretty good, correct?
Yes, especially Boba Fett.
What's that go for?
I have a graded 8 that right now is going for about $20,000.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah.
What about loose? And it looks different than the regular
Yeah,
one.
loose. It's similar to the original one, so it's not crazy money. It's the unopened aspect is the main thing, but it's probably $1,000 loose.
Wow!
But getting it unopened is a huge deal. Yeah.
Wow!
All right, moving on. It is football season, and everyone loves Tom Brady, unless you're a Bills fan. But the gentleman came in with this card, and the dealer up the street made him an offer, and I said, that's a little low offer. It wasn't a bad offer, but I can offer you a little more. I ended up getting it, and it sold for $1,300 a week later. So
okay.
It is a rookie. It's numbered on the back. Anything Tom Brady's hot, especially any type of rookie cards, just look for the little rookie logo insignias anywhere on the card, and you might have a gold mine there.
But that's really not a rare card per se. There were 762 of those made.
Correct, but it's numbered. So, say the unnumbered one, there could be 100,000 made.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think that's the big deal. Anything numbered is limited edition. Anything really under 10,000 is rare. Under 1,000, super rare. Under 100, crazy money.
Wow.
So, very cool. And Otani is hot. He's going to be MVP from what everyone's saying. This is a rookie card. I bought this graded, but I didn't pay nearly the $1,000 that it went for. But if you get any Otani rookies, you're talking big bucks now too.
Now, is Bowman Chrome a Premier Series, or is it a...
It's a better one. They did make different variations and rare ones and signed ones and stuff. So this is his base rookie card.
Base rookie, okay.
Yeah, but still you're talking $1,000 as a gem mint 10.
And what would...
$100. The card's 100 ungraded.
A pack of those cost back in the day?
So you're talking, well,
what level?
Back
what
in the
level?
day was 3 years ago. It's probably $1,000 box or more now.
Well, no. I mean, if I had gone into a store 3 years ago, what would a pack of that have cost? Like, how high up the chain is it?
The box would have been probably about $100, so your pack could have been about $5-6.
Oh, so it's not a real high-end pack by any means. Okay.
Right,
so you can find those out there in
Sure.
people's collections.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. All right, and from the Ohio deal, this is I've been sitting on this for a while. This is a rare New England purple background Marilyn Monroe TV guide. I got it graded, came back in 8.5. I think I took a $700 offer on this, but I had it listed for $1,000 forever, like a year or so. So I'm like, time to move on.
And you made money on it.
Yeah, we did well, and we move on. It's a cool piece, but
and Maryland stuff always sells.
Yeah.
And that is somebody, and I know we talked in a prior bolo about Louise Brooks, about whether there would be a market for her or not.
Yeah.
There are some people out there that there will always be markets for.
Sure.
Marilyn being one of them, Mickey Mantle being one of them. And I thought of like three more, and I just lost them all.
Elvis, JFK?
Elvis, those were actually two of them that I did think of, yes. So people like that, there will always be markets for. People will always collect them. So you can't really go wrong if you're buying those things right.
Right. Speaking of markets that people always collect, Star Wars is a big market, and we have more from this collection here. Star Wars comics, ever since, I think, the Mandalorian series, which drew out all these origins in these comic books here, and now they're going for crazy money. So this was a run. The runs 1 through 107. I was missing the 2 Boba Fett issues, which I sent out to get graded because they could be worth thousands of dollars. But starter collection here was $630. They were high grade, so I probably sold it a little cheap, but I didn't pay as much for them. But even if you see the new comics out at a garage sale anywhere for $1, $2, they're minimum $5 to $10 any Star Wars comic at this point. So definitely scarf them up if you can get them cheap.
And you can actually find things like that in some old dealer boxes and things like that for $1 for some of the various issues.
And if you find the non-reprint 35-cent #1 issue, I'm looking to buy that. So in any condition, I sold mine and I regret it. Now I got to pay thousands to get it back. All right, moving on. Still Star Wars, still the Droid series. I got this with a box of Star Wars toys from a couple guys in their 20s. This was in there. It's the Droids A-Wing. Went for $500. It's super rare. They reissued it, but the original one goes for about $500.
Now, how can you tell?
Oh, the date on the bottom. And then there's pieces and parts that look a little different. The guns look, I think the newer one's gray, more gray. So, but yeah, there's definitely ways to tell. But nevertheless, it's a super hot piece right now.
Now, if you sold that means you have one of those in your collection?
Correct.
Oh, nice.
And if you have the box somewhere, I'm looking to buy the box for mine. So just contact me.
Oh, gee, what is this? The swap, the swap sheet? Jeez,
yeah, exactly. All right, it is football season once again. The Bengals, they're not too bad, but I bought this card, and talk about perfect timing. Sometimes, you get lucky. Bought this card from a customer that does the breaks, and at the time, this card was probably $50, which was 2 weeks ago. Guy's been having monster games. He's setting records for rookies, and I'm selling for $355.
Now, I don't follow football that
Jamar Chase. He was not that he was a
Must have been
nobody.
a wide receiver by that number.
He was a draft pick, but he was supposed to be good. He was having a decent year, but each week he's getting better and better and better. I bought this 2 or 3 weeks ago when the card was $50, and now he had a monster. I think he had a 200-yard game with multiple touchdowns, and he's setting all kinds of records. $355, and it'll probably be worth $1,000 at the end of the season if he keeps going.
Continues, right? Yep.
Sure. So,
but better to get the $355 because you made money on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of people that always will have people collecting them, Frank Lloyd Wright. House Beautiful magazine, October 1959. A lot of times when you do get these magazines, mention Frank Lloyd Wright. He will sell. He definitely is a keyword to use. But a lot of times you'll find there will be a little article about him inside. This one's nice and easy. You really don't have to search for.
You have to open up a page at all. Yeah.
In fact, this issue is so devoid of other things that I literally just used Frank Lloyd Wright as the keyword.
Perfect.
Which, yes, exactly. Once in a while, you do get those things. You just absolutely know it's going to sell because of. I did get the $64 for it as well. You will find these out there from time to time, and Frank Lloyd Wright is a word to use certainly. Well, if he's in the item, don't just use him randomly. Sure. Next item we have over here. Country music cassette single out of 19. Sammy Kershaw, Pam Tillis, Joe Diffie, and many other people. Condition on these may not be quite.
No, I'm looking at them. Like, are they even worth a quarter? I mean, you got more than a quarter, but
I did get more than a quarter of them.
Some of the condition, they just there's in the back seat of their car, people were stepping on them.
Basically, and I ended up at a house call, and they had a big thing of cassettes, and I think I could probably give $10 for the whole box of cassettes, and these were in there as well. And I started selling off the other cassettes, in lots, and finally I said, what am I going to do with all these?
Yeah.
So I threw them together in one lot and did get the $30 out of it. Wow. Nobody even made me an offer on it or anything. And it's kind of funny because as far as the person buying them is concerned, I probably paid the quarter on them. So 19 of them at a quarter apiece. Are
they collecting them or actually listening to these things?
I'm thinking
it's a wide range. They got to be collecting them, right?
Don't really know. But that just goes to show you when you do have a lot of stuff that leftover stuff like this, put it together in a lot. You just absolutely never know. I ended up getting more out of these than I paid for the entire box of cassettes, and these are the leftover stuff as far as I was concerned. I didn't really put any value on them, so I can't argue with that. And and condition is not the best. No. Next item we have. You would have seen this if you saw the good friend of the channel, Primetime Treasure Hunter, when he featured yours truly in his video about the Madison Bachville show. And I bought this, and I kind of showed it on there that I had purchased it, and I ended up getting $50 for it. 1955 Rodeo Sport News Annual. It's really cool. They've got a really nice ad, I believe, in the back for Levi's, a lot of things throughout for rodeo, etc., etc. Did feature this on our Instagram as well, that you got to stick to your price. Other people were selling other ones, similar ones, different years. They were getting $20, $25 out of them. And I said, no, that's way better than $20 to $25. Right. I think I paid $5 for it and got $50 out of it, less shipping. But again, stick to your price. When you do see something other like this, don't just follow the crowd and list it at $20. It's way nicer than that. I mean, the person can break it up for the ads alone and make a lot more money than that off it, because it also is an oversized one too. It's about the little bit bigger than a Life magazine, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So it's a good sized item over there. And I think like I said, I think I paid $5. Can't argue with that whatsoever. Speaking of people that will always sell your item, and yet another thing I did the Instagram on, do check us out, $1 Million Peddlers on Instagram, is New York Magazine, JFK Jr., and I did write John F. Kennedy Jr. as well, just because there wasn't a lot of other things to write about on there. I guess I could have written his wife's name down, et cetera, et cetera.
She does sell too, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
Sure.
Did get $44 out of it, though, which I think I paid $1 for it at a sale because it was just kind of in a pile. So you will find these things. This is one of those things that you will find. There are certain people, Princess Diana being another one, JFK Jr. being one, not a person but an event, 9/11 being one, the start of the Iraq War being one, where people tend to save a lot of stuff from that person all at the same time. Sure. So you will go to a sale and you will find no JFK Jr. stuff for 10 straight sales. Then you'll go to a sale and you'll find 15 magazines with him because the person there happened to save his stuff. Right. When you do find the one with the 15, buy them. You can get $44 out of this. You'll be paying $1 a piece on them. So you can't go wrong on that. This is one of those things that I showed a buddy of mine after I sold it, and he just shook his head and said, everybody else would have thrown it out. Now, this did take a long time to sell. I'm not going to lie about it. You can tell by my price, 2008. It took 13 years to sell. And it was a poor listing because it was from back in the day. I should have taken another picture. It literally was a Christmas card. You could open it up. What it was if I decided to give a copy or a subscription to Popular Mechanics to you, you would get a card that says you have gotten a subscription to Popular Mechanics from, courtesy of type deal.
Sure.
It's got Santa Claus on it, et cetera, but I did get $10 for something that most people would have thrown out.
Right.
And nowadays, with the eBay not charging you a nickel per listing, you can certainly take your time to list things like this and just hang on to them. And for it having been, I'm sure this was buried in the search results if it took 13 years to sell, but it did end up selling this year around Christmas. Why, you ask?
Because it's Christmas season?
No. Why, you ask?
Why?
Hey, wow, there you go. You picked up right up on that. Because I listed a lot of different Christmas things, and I had this in the Christmas category. And I also listed some Popular Mechanics magazines. Okay. And I have a Popular Mechanics category. So this was listed in my store category for Christmas and Popular Mechanics, and then I listed into both those categories. So somebody from one of those two areas did come across it after 13 years.
Gotcha.
So, you're not going to get rich selling things like this, but still, everybody else would have thrown it out, and, I've got a few bucks in my pocket. And the last thing, we did talk about this a lot of times on our live show, which is every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Check it out if you haven't already. We talk about various things that we end up buying, and I had mentioned that I had, at the flea market, bought a bunch of board games, the Avalon Hill games. I don't know if you recall that or not. And this, somebody or other made me an offer of, back 2-3 months ago, somebody made me an offer of $40 on it, and I turned it down. Then they made me an offer of $45, and I turned it down. Then they made me an offer of $50, and I turned it down with a note that said, I'm going to get my price around Christmas. I'm sorry, I'm not going to sell it for that. So I ended up getting $174.21 out of Stalingrad War Strategy game, Avalon Hill, sealed from 1963.
All the sealings are worth over $100. I've had a couple. They go for over $100.
Yeah, and this has stayed sealed since 1963. They may have been a later print than that. I'm not exactly sure, which is why I showed that. But it definitely is from the 60s anyway. And the person wanted me to sell it for $40. I'm like, no, you could go to the store and pay more than $40 for this game brand new.
You
and
had
it's
it
not
listed for $174.
Had it listed for $174, and I got the $174 out of it. So the lesson is, if you've got something good and you aren't in a situation where you absolutely need money, stick to your guns, stick to your price. You will end up getting your price out of it. Obviously, if this gentleman made me a $150 offer on it, I'm sure I would have taken it at $150. Because I think I had $8 to $10 into it, something other like that. But certainly $40, I'm not going to sell it for that. It's and finally I had to tell him I'm not going to sell it for cheap. Right. If you want to pay $150 on it, we can talk. $40, I'm not selling it for that. So hopefully that helps you some. Do hit the like button And do comment down below if you've picked up any of these or if any of these things ever helped you. Definitely do appreciate it. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.